So we're joined today by Louisiana Tech head coach Eric Konkol. Eric, thanks so much for joining us today on this episode.
Well, I appreciate you guys having me. It's always good to talk basketball, and really thankful for all that you guys do for the game and promoting it, and really thankful for you having me on.
Absolutely, and it's all the pleasure is ours. We love doing it. So we want to talk a little Conference USA. We've talked to other coaches in the conference, both in this past, this summer and also in the past. And I'd like to just start with your home road splits. It's a topic of conversation amongst the Conference USA fan base. I think we talked about it a little bit when we previewed the Conference USA tournament last year, how you guys, your fan base would travel to Frisco and how big of an effect that your home crowd has on your performance. How do you view the home road splits? I mean, do you look at it as just you have a ridiculously good home court advantage? Do you look at it as you need to improve on the road? What is your perception of the big difference in the record home and road?
Well, I think anywhere in Conference USA, everywhere in conference, any conference in college basketball, it's tough winning on the road. And whether you play in the road one game a week, 2 games a week, it's always a challenge. In Conference USA in particular, playing Thursday, Saturday, having to travel on that Thursday night or a lot of times on Friday, is what makes it such a challenge. And I always say to our team, I say to our staff, the team that wins the league regular season championship is the one that's handled the road the best. And, of course, you've got to be able to take care of your home court. There are some built-in advantages just by, not having that travel. But I know from all the leagues that I've ever taken part in as a player and certainly as a coach, it's tough. And but I think Conference USA is one of the toughest.
Yeah, and you guys navigated it definitely better this year. You had actually a really, really nice season. A shame that we didn't get to see the end of it play out. A season that was highlighted by 2 epic games against North Texas. Both your home game and your road game. You actually you split them reverse. You won at North Texas, and they beat you guys at La Tech. Just talk to us a little bit about that, budding rivalry. I mean, is this going to be, are you guys the new mainstays at the top of the league?
Well, Grant McCausland's done a great job at North Texas and building their program and had a really good team this year and a tremendous year. Our 2 games, it was incredible to see how both ended at the buzzer, essentially. Both ended with some type of instant replay review at the monitor to check whether their bucket went in at our place, which it did. Check something at the end of our game at their place that we were able to win. But, we're not that far apart in respect to all the other teams in our league.
Yep.
Just about 4 hours away. We both have a lot of Texas kids on each of our rosters that know each other. Both games are very good, and we've had good games with them in the past, and certainly expect that to continue.
And so going into next year, you're going to wind up losing your longtime point guard, senior Daquan Bracey. Unfortunately, he's graduating this season. So for such a solid guy for so long like Bracey, what are your plans to replace him as soon as next year?
Well, we lose Day and 3 other seniors that all provided so much leadership for us the last several years. And all of that, the guys that are returning, we're going to have 5 seniors this coming year, along with some underclassmen that had nice roles, but they will need to expand those roles, as will our juniors now rising into seniors. And Day at the point guard position, Derek Jean at the combo guard position. He played some point and some 2. It's going to be done by committee, but we're going to really lean on guys like Amari Archibald, who will be a 4-year starter at guard, Caleb Ledoux, who will be his 2nd year of eligibility in our program, but was 6th man of the year in Conference USA. Those 2 senior guards we're going to rely very heavily on to take some of the decision-making responsibilities, playmaking responsibilities, as well as a sophomore like Kobe Williams, who really gained a lot of experience as a freshman and helped us down the stretch.
So you see Kobe Williams, who's opening day. Let's give you a hypothetical. Who do you see handling the point to start the season?
Well, there's really, in the way we play, we try to have 2 or 3 guys on the floor at all times that could be considered the point guard. That's the way it was been for Amari Archibald for really his whole career, along with Day-Day. Kobe Williams we see as another guy like that can handle the ball a good bit. And then we've got some other guys in our program that we can see handling the ball as well. And it's not just guys that you consider the point guard and being 6 foot or 6'2". We have ball handling responsibilities from a lot of our guys. We play a 4-out, 1-in lineup. Isaiah Crawford, the young freshman we had last year whose season cut short with an injury, he did a lot of ball handling responsibilities at 6'6". So we spread it around a good bit, and we're going to rely on a lot of different guys to make good decisions.
And what can you tell us about Isaiah Crawford's health? He of course, was a pretty good contributor considering, just a freshman last year. And as you mentioned, season got cut short. You guys went pretty deep last year, so he got some good minutes. What can you tell us about his health? Is he going to be ready to go at the beginning of the season?
We're certainly expecting it. We're hopeful. Fort Worth here for the last few months, but has been aggressive with his physical therapy. We're hoping to get our guys back here next week and let our doctors take a look at him again. But him and his family have been sending us updates, videos, and things that he's doing, and it's so good to see him moving the way he's been moving. Of course, there's still months away from building complete strength and having that confidence of having contact and playing the game again. But we're excited about him and his development. Certainly thought that he was going to be an all-freshman type player in our league this year, and he's a big part of our future.
Yeah, definitely. Now, I want to talk to you a little bit about the defensive style of your squad. You tend to play, a high-pressure type system, but, very good at avoiding fouling. Give us just a little insight of, how you coach the defensive system and, what are some of the keys to playing such a high-pressure system where you're causing a lot of turnovers but avoiding the fouling?
Well, we want to be really active with our hands, and we have had a lot of success recruiting guys that are long and athletic and really good at anticipating, and defense has been a major culture piece of our program. I believe we're the only team in Conference USA that's finished in the top 3 defensively for the last 5 years. We like to mix in a little bit of full court pressure to go along with some half court defense, mostly in the man-to-man. But we have a simple philosophy. We want to try to deflect the ball when it's out of someone's hands. We want to be able to put our chest on ball handlers and stop penetration with our chest and showing our hands. And those are types of things we work on every day. We had a stat that from this last year we're very proud of. We were number 1 in the country in guarding isolation by points per possession. We play a lot of one-on-one each day. It helps our offense. It helps our defense. We're big believers in iron sharpening iron, and we try to have our practices follow suit with that.
Yeah, that's definitely a good strategy, I feel like, with the defensive end. And one thing we wanted to talk to you about was the fact that Conference USA is, unfortunately, in my opinion, eliminating the bonus play, the pod play, after trying it for the past 2 years. I always thought it was great because it at the very least, even though maybe the league didn't have an at-large candidate just yet, it kind of fostered that possibility and helped it going forward. So we're curious, what do you think about how the experience went? What would you say about it? And is it something that you're happy to see go, or you wish that it was going to stay?
Yeah, there were certain things that I thought were really good about it. I thought it created some interesting matchups at the end of the season. For example, teams in the top pod, we had some great games with Western Kentucky and then North Texas, Charlotte, and FIU at the very end of the season. And your fans really, once in year 2 this past year, once your fans kind of get a grip on what this looks like, created for some excitement. Right. The challenges, though, however, were just planning for team travel in a week trying to get, because we've got so many flights between teams in our league, those things become very, very hard. And I think with the coronavirus and each and every conference, each and every athletic department trying to do whatever they can to have a set cost and knowing what your schedule and what your budget's going to be, because there's a lot of uncertainty in how you organize that travel at the end of the season. And then there is some education that took place as to who you're playing and when, and getting that information out. Now you got a set schedule on your poster, on the card that you can put in your wallet. All that stuff is set at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, I understand that. But either way, I'm sure you probably agree that, you know, you want to keep moving forward, keep the conference moving forward. If you take out the Power 6 conferences from last year and then take out the next four, having the American, the West Coast, the A10, and the Mountain West, I feel like they're probably like the next four level. The Conference USA was third in the entire country. So you guys were clearly one of the best mid-major conferences in the country. So if pod plays out, do you have any ideas or what are your thoughts on what to do to try to boost Conference USA's, at-large bids and kind of keep moving them up that list?
Well, there's a couple things. The first thing in any league is your resume and how productive you are in the non-conference. And non-conference winning percentage is vital. Of course, the other thing is trying to get those quad 1 and quad 2 games in the non-conference and be successful in doing it. The challenge is that we're all finding is, as some leagues have gone to 20 games in their regular season conference schedule, the inventory of games is so much smaller for us to be able to schedule those types of games. We're all trying to do our best, and then, of course, trying to get the best games you can get at home and win those games, try to find neutral site games. And then if everybody's taking care of business and we can just get a little bit better in the non-conference, each one of our conference games will be weighted that much higher to push into, hopefully, quadrant 1, quadrant 2 type games that can increase our net, can make us more attractive to the NCAA tournament committee.
You guys were on a pretty good track. You had the big win at Mississippi State in December, which, if you take out, that Sunday, and this is part of what makes it so difficult for mid-major schools, is that you beat Mississippi State. You got to turn around a few days later, go back on the road and go to Sam Houston State. And, it's very difficult to keep the same level of intensity, I would imagine, going from playing in Mississippi State to a Sam Houston State. So you go from, getting that huge quad 1 win at Mississippi State. You had an at-large resume at that point. And then you go and you drop the game at Sam Houston State. Was that, what do you, from your perspective, is that just a product of, how difficult the schedule could be at times?
Well, I think it's a couple things. It's like we talked about earlier. It's so challenging to go on the road and win games. And Sam Houston State, we knew was going to be a challenging game. It was designed to be almost like a Conference USA road swing where we were playing back-to-back road games. There was a little extra time in between, but we had to travel from Starkville back to Ruston and then head down to Sam Houston. But we knew that Sam Houston was going to be a really good opponent. Coach Hooten does a tremendous job there. They've had many 20-win seasons. Tough place to play, and they played very, very well. We played just not well enough to be able to get that one done. I look at those type of results. Yes, that hurts us in at-large selection, but you really get your team's attention. Something you can always look back on as you get on those road swings in league.
Yeah, and it definitely got you, in a position to compete, and the results came. You went 13-5 in the conference this year, and you had that double bye that is coveted or has been coveted. But now the movement is towards a smaller conference tournament this coming season. Is this something that's here to stay, or is this another product of the coronavirus? And what do you think about the move down to 8 teams for the tournament this year?
Yeah, it's one of those challenging decisions that all of us have been forced to make on a number of levels, not just from basketball, overall athletic departments, universities, and conferences. This is a measure of trying to find different ways to be efficient. You see throughout the country programs that are cutting sports. even other sports that are removing conference tournaments altogether. I certainly don't think this is something to stay. This was a very difficult decision by our league, and one that wasn't taken lightly at all. But I know there's a movement to be able to get right back to having all teams available for the conference tournament, hopefully in the not so distant future.
So, you enter this season. This is going to be the 30-year anniversary of the last time Louisiana Tech made the NCAA tournament. I'm sure that you are familiar with, that drought. What is it going to take to get the program back to, where all the fans want to see you, of course, on the big stage?
It's been that elusive carrot. It really has. And, there's a stat that was brought to my attention that, we've won a lot of games, not just during our tenure, but in the previous 10 years of several coaches here in Louisiana Tech's history. And we've come close many times. And it's going to take good basketball teams, really good players, health, and a little bit of luck to be able to get that done on one of those weekends. But of course, we felt like we had a great opportunity this year. We were excited and felt really good about the type of basketball we were playing. But it's something that we talk about often. It's not something we're consumed by. We're very process-driven here. We're just trying to use each day to get better and better and find ways to improve and build into a cohesive team that's just playing really good basketball in February and March. But it's one of those things that it drives you. It drives all of us, and we're going to be excited about the day when it happens.
It's going to be a really competitive year in Conference USA. North Texas stays really good, and Western Kentucky is going to be extreme challenge as well at the top. So you guys have been a mainstay pretty much at the top of the league since you got there. So big credit to you, and we wish you the best of luck in the rest of your preparation this year and going into the 2020-2021 season.
Well, appreciate you guys talking Conference USA basketball. I know you're all based on the East Coast. It's a great league. Appreciate the attention that you're giving it. It is going to be a wonderful race this year. Hopefully everybody can do their part with the coronavirus and wearing a mask and washing hands and keeping our distance and do everything we can to have a season and a school year for everybody else. But we hope that you all stay safe over there and really appreciate all that you do.
I appreciate you coming on, Coach. Thanks.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Take care.